All right.
All right.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Jabril Ben-Sidrin. I'm hosting this webinar on behalf of SESA Systems. Today, we're going to speak about Ergonomic as a tool for lean manufacturing. Our reason for this webinar is that there is actually a very strong business case for ergonomics and lean manufacturing operational efficiency. As you see on the screen, according to a Washington State Department of Labor study based on 250 companies or case studies, the ergonomic projects in average have resulted in enhancements that are really very substantial, more or less ranging between 59 and 68, actually 70%, 75% reduction in musculoskeletal disorders, lost work days, workers' compensation costs, and have decreased in average 43% in labor costs. So how is that possible? Well, actually, the explanation is provided by an Assembly Magazine article that shows that ergonomics in average also resulted in productivity gains of 10 to 25%. And the explanation for that they provide is that you can actually reach a higher throughput due to reductions in task-related fatigue and reduction in wasted motion. So you'll see the link at the bottom of the screen if you'd like to read more. So we have invited today our guest speaker, Alexis Bellenger, who will bring to us 12 years of lean manufacturing and continuous improvement experience. What's really interesting about Alexis, and he's a colleague of mine, is that he has interacted not with 1, 10, 20, but really literally hundreds of production teams across industries, from the need analysis to project implementation. He's worked in factories and have visited factories in multiple countries, and he holds a double degree in engineering and business, and a master in project management. So before I let Alexis take it from there, brief reminder about who we are. Many of you already know us. We are a world leader in lean enterprise. We provide a variety of products, actually 2,500 products, equipment and accessories to more than 14,000 companies, ranging from small to very large. You see in the bottom of the screen here a sample of companies. I'm sure some of you work in some of these actually. And that's just a small sample across multiple industries. The products we provide include training games for lean manufacturing and operational efficiency, office, especially lean office furniture, and workshop furniture, including workstations, workbenches, maintenance stations, as well as in the logistics space, we provide floor racks and trolleys, including electric trolleys, Kanban systems, floor marking, signage, safety signage, as well as in the Industry 4.0, a growing range of products, including digital screens, interactive screens, KPI, digital KPI management, and wireless and on lights. And finally, visual management includes magnetic whiteboards of all sorts of shapes and forms, as well as the accessories to standardize and organize your visual management for effective team communication. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it on to Alexis.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jared. Thanks.
What's your agenda, Alexis? So, Alexis, what's your agenda today?
Yeah, that's all. Everything is written here. So as you can see, the first point will be think ergonomics is just nice to have things twice. At this point, especially we'll speak about the MSD. For some of you, maybe that's a new subject. Then we will see what ergonomic can improve in terms of productivity for, and we will see the wheel of the ergonomics, how you can simply represent the ergonomics into your environment. Then we will speak about the right ergonomic postures and also see what kind of mobilia is the best adapted to enhance productivity, health, and morale for the operators. And then finally, the tools of the ergonomics. So we'll have a complete review of what are the possibilities for you to simply, let's say, try to integrate the ergonomy into your daily task and operations. Obviously, there is some question and answer, but that will be during the presentation. Jabril will propose you some self-assessments. We'll come back to this just after or during the presentation.
So yes, you said ergonomics is not just a nice to have, right? It is essential. So
it's essential, yeah, exactly. And we will see why exactly. So as you discover on this slide, that's a work without ergonomics. So here you have the MSD, that's a vocabulary. So it's the musculoskeletal disorder. This is a chronic disease, clearly, and that will appear progressively to the person. This is mainly due to the excessive stretching of muscles, and the common pains are, let's say, located mostly in the back, the neck, the arms, but also the legs and the feet. There is also for the back pain, Jabril, what can you tell us about these?
Sure. Yeah, well, that's some statistics I had found when we were preparing this webinar with Alexis. In the United States, there's actually a survey that's been done, and that shows that there's up to 264 million workdays per year are lost due to back pain alone, without even talking about the other issues. That's an average of 2 workdays per full-time worker. I'd be curious actually to know in your own company, what if you have in your own companies, you listeners, what are the figures? In average, it's a cost of $1,600 per employee per year.
Yeah, so that's a lot. And I will also add that physical pains, they greatly modifies the performance of the workers, of the person concerned by this, and results in absence, of course. And in some extreme cases, it can lead to the incapacity for work or complete invalidity of the persons. And so that's direct cost. It means direct cost also to the company, and a loss of productivity in general. So let's say the ergonomic, it's not about avoiding physical pain and overloading only. It's also to arrange properly the workstation that will help to reduce the number of accidents. And so you will only find solution to safety problems if the ergonomic aspect is taken into account. So we'll see in this presentation how to adapt the workstation. One word about the definition of the ergonomics. So the goal is to adapt the work condition and, of course, the ability and the characteristic of the person to have the best equipment adapted to the physical dimensions of the persons, and that's clearly not easy to find or to put in place, and to organize the activity based on the human factor, the context, and of course mainly on the environment you are working in. So the goal of ergonomic is clearly to reduce the MSD and also to improve the safety. But you will ask, what the word ergonomic means around you, and you will get probably lots of different answers. So for some people, ergonomic is associated with the terms for the position of the back or the position of the arm. In truth, all the people now are true. There are no wrong answers, I will say. But you are just considering a very small aspect of the ergonomics. The ergonomics, they have an effect on everything. This is related to the body, of course, the body function, the movements, the vision, the sound level, the light, and much more. And this is what we will see in the presentation. And of course, the goal is to create a safer, a simpler, and a more comfortable working environment for the users, for the persons, for the operators, while simulating their senses, their intellect, and of course, their productivity.
So you mentioned that ergonomics is not a cost, right? It's not easy to implement. Obviously, there's probably some cost associated to it, but you need to see it as actually a tool for enhanced productivity.
Yeah. So investment in ergonomic so means also the work equipment. This is the primary condition for well-being and the motivation of staff. Without these two elements, you cannot improve the quality and the performance. So if you look at those examples, there are 2 or 3 examples of improvements opportunities also that will be through also in your own environment. So here, as you can see, you can easily improve the nature of work. You can also work on the global organization of the task. For example, you can also define a better work environment. Some environment have a lot of smoke, noises, poor lighting, and obviously the workspace and improve the furniture, the equipments. Think about also the mats, the seats, the boxes, the trolleys, and everything that will organize or will help the person to work properly.
So actually what we came up with is a list of questions you could ask yourselves as a self-assessment. And I think if you want to take just a couple seconds to review them and think what area would need most improvement in your company or specific departments that may be a bit behind. We will send you a survey after this webinar. If you have registered or clicked, then we will be able to send you a survey. If you wish to respond, it will be confidential, and you will be able to receive the statistics from all your peers who will have responded as well in an anonymized manner. You'll be able to compare and see, first of all, where you are compared to others and identify perhaps opportunities for improvement.
Thank you, Jabra. So if we go on, you see this is a simple representation that I will explain right now. The function of ergonomic can be explained with this diagram, I would say, with this picture. So first of all, in green, you have the person at the task. And in the blue cycle, you have the action cycle. In orange, you have the reaction cycle. And all of this representation is, let's say, will help you to understand what you have to gather, what are the conditions to have an ergonomic workstation, and of course, at the end, good operational results. This is what we call the wheel of the ergonomics. So let me explain something. This is very important. You have the person in the center of the task. The work must be adapted to the capacity of the person, of course, but humans have also a certain ability to adapt to the task. So for this reason, you find the person in the green section and also in the blue section, in the blue cycle. So here, the blue is the field of the ergonomics. So this is where you find, first of all, the person, but also the workplace, the nature of the activity, the work organization, and the workstation. All of these factors influence the elements of the reaction cycle, which must be imperatively powerful and balanced if we want to obtain the well-being at work and, of course, a good operating profit. So these two notions, well-being, productivity, are together, are inseparable, and when it comes to ensuring lasting success of a company. So the ergonomy will be, let's say, must lubricate the bearing and allows the wheels to move forward. And we speak, of course, about well-being and productivity in this diagram.
So how do you, what kind of postures should you have or try to either avoid or encourage?
So of course, as I said, the investment in a good equipment is the primary condition for well-being and motivation of the task. So you will see here what are the right posture, but of course you need to have the adapted positions. So it's something that most humans don't know, but in average we can sit almost 8 hours a day, starting from breakfast, driving, working, coming home. And so humans are just designed to move. So there are many ways to stand up, even at work, even if you are located in an office. But the choice of the office equipment, the chairs, the keyboard, the screen, the layout of the office must comply with these guidelines. So and you will ensure the proper operation, of course. You need also to have a comfortable seat. You have to have a proper desk adapted. You can also respect some distance between the height of the seat, the height of the work surface, and so same thing applies to the workshops, to the operators. As you can see here, you have an example of the best practice or a bad practice and a good practice. So you have to consider the following aspects. So why not decide to a sit-stand position? Consider the dimension of the station, the freedom of movement, the safety distance, overweight object lifting and carrying, the vision angle, and of course the display of procedure, which is also part of the ergonomic. As you can see on this bad example, or on this good example, is or before and after, no need to bend over. So clearly you reduce the possibility to have back pains, as we explained previously. So an optimal workspace combines sitting and standing position. It is also good for circulation, the muscles, and it contributes really to the wellness of the persons.
So again, another self-assessment question that will be sent to you also, if you want to take a couple of seconds to review them ahead of time. Can your operators adjust their workstations? What is their main position? Are they mostly working standing, semi-sitting, or other? And is there a way for them to lift totes or to avoid bending, or they just have to bend? But we'll send all this to you by email if you wish.
If I also, you find this diagram, which is very interesting, to explain what are the reach zones. As you can see, humans are all different, and as it is written here, people with different height needs different adjustable workstations and equipment. So as human, we all have a physical difference, and the first one is the height. In average, so that's in the US, that's mostly the case. Average woman height is below the 65 inches, whereas the average man height is about 70 inches. So at work, when you get several operators working on the same workstation, one after the other, it's not always suitable for them to work on this workstation. They are not really adapted to the height. So this is why, for many reasons, electrical workstation can be the solutions. As you can see, you have different zones here, the ideal comfort zones, the acceptable zones, and a poor accessible zone. So there is a way to organize a workstation in order to respect those limits. Concerning the now the assessment, you have different type of work as well. As you can see here, for precision work, then the goal will be to be very close to the task and to have only 2 inches below the elbow. Then regarding the light work, so I would say this is the standard position and the normal position, between 2 and 5 inches below the elbow. And the heavy work here will be between 10 or 20 inches below the elbow. And in this position, the last position, this is where you carry big boxes or big parts, and that you have to work on, yes, on the big parts. I will just simply on big parts. So there is a different type of work, and the only way to be able to adapt to each type of work is clearly to have that kind of possibility. So electrical or manual, but you have to find a way to adjust the height of the plate. On the next slide, you see also that's interesting also to consider. Here you have the a reminder of the basic rule for an adapted work surface. So here you have to be always in front of the object, being close to the task. Organize the work so that frequent operations are easily accessible, and of course avoid to stretch the muscles, avoid the tensions, and you have always these kind of zones when you work on a workstation. The primary zone, the occasional reach, and non-working area, which are hard to reach, let's say. So you have to find a way to respect those zones, of course, and to make sure that all components and all parts are easily accessible.
So the productivity enhancement includes somehow like is directly related or a result of better health, employee morale, and having the adapted furniture plays a big role in that.
Yeah, considering the cost that we've just explained before, adapted furniture sometimes means also investments. But in most cases, the required investment are quickly amortized. May I start, Jabal?
Sure, yes, yeah. Please.
Okay. So this is, let's say, an adapted workstation respecting also the 5S subject. So this is a 5S ergonomic solution. The goal is to to have a clear identification, to have a light here, as you can see on number 2, to organize the information, to make sure that they are easily accessible. Then you can define a different grip for tools, for example, a quick connection for all electrical equipments, a rational storage, waste management. You have to think also about the fact to why not moving also with the station to put casters and associate it with a seat stance position. So in fact, the ergonomic arrangement of the work generate a low significant saving thanks to first, the fall of number of accident, illness, and of course, if you have at every stage of the company, in every area, this kind of organization, then you can increase the productivity. Of course, we speak about health and we speak about motivation of the staff. Regarding this layout example, so here you have also to consider different elements. So the nature of the work, the working environment, the workspace analysis, what is the space available, if you have any machines around, or what is the best way to reduce also the time between two components, a finished part, and so on. You need to make some analysis about the characteristic of the workstation, of course. What are the dimensions required? What is the equipment you are going to put on that station? Is there any maximum weight? Is there a specific coating? What's the type of fuse? Is it edge adjustable? Is it mobile, for example? And of course, do not forget to add any identification like the signage, everything that will gather the visual management aspect with the instruction sheet and all the information that are needed to work properly without, let's say, production breakdown for the person. So you have a good example here of a station gathering first all the visual management aspects, the components, the identifications, the tools, let's say the matting here on the floor, and also left and right different trolleys, which are also height adjustable. So the goal is to remain exactly always all the time at the same level of the plate. So no need to bend over here to grab any components on the station. So you have additional example of ergonomic workstation based on what we can propose also. You have here on the left a simply control workstation, the lights, the instructions, and so on. So every accessories are very flexible, so you can also adjust the height of everyone. You have in the middle here, in the center of this slide, a safety workstation, where you see here, this is only dedicated to the safety. And on the right, also some example with packaging workstation, where you can easily grab the boxes and prepare the let's say the parcels in very good conditions. This is also manually height adjustable. So it means here that for such a station, then you will adjust only the height maybe 2 times or 1 times a month, not more. If you adjust let's say the station every day, then you will have to go for an electronic version of it. One very good product also to associate to be associated with the workstation are the trolleys, of course. So here the goal is to lift loads or to move loads from one point to another one. So we have many solutions for that, for very small boxes, big boxes. We have also these electric adjustments, which are so you have the Limpus 300 for one box and the Limpus 400 for more boxes. And as I said, the goal is to keep a constant level. So here the purpose of those products clearly is that man is not meant to be used for lifting or transportation. So the frequent lifting of loads must either be replaced by this kind of product, for example, and the right design and choice helps, let's say, or facilitates the loads of those boxes, of those parts. So you have various possibilities, of course, and the goal is to avoid to carry boxes, just simple as that. And the standards indicates, or the norms indicates, that the limit is about 25 kilograms for men and 15 for women. And this is already, let's say, quite heavy. So, and it can cause, of course, damages to due to these excessive efforts. So we can also associate the position, or let's say, improve the position of the. Oh, Jabril,
You're right. For people who work standing, actually, right?
Yeah, you were standing.
So in general, it's good to work standing, but not always sitting. But then you can have issues with that too, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought that I had a breakdown in the presentation. It seems to be okay. Yeah, the matting has also, let's say, helping the ergonomics to be improved in companies. So workplace falls, that's the main cause for the workplace accident, and reduce the mats will also helps reducing the pressures on the muscles. And so clearly you need to, if you have a person working 8 hours, stand 8 hours on the workstation, then you need to have this kind of solution. It's easy to put in place, and basically the selection will be regarding the type of industry, what's the goal of this, if you need safety, if you need comfort, if you need both, the environment, of course. Sometimes you have mats which are resistant to oil also, or to metal dust. You have also the work duration, the movements. Is it going to be used to cover, for example, a big surface, so we can cover up to 50 meters, for example, and the workstation configuration. If it's a production line, or if it's just an island, then it will help you to define the right mats. And of course, to answer to these different needs, then we have a budget, a very low budget price level, the medium, and the comfort one. Regarding the seats and the seat stand, you have a big difference here. The position can be different if you sit completely, or if you are seated on the seat stand seat. Basically, you will have 80% of your body on the back and only 20% on the floor. So it means that if you are doing regular movements, then it will be more interesting maybe, or safer to use this sit stand position, because only 50% of the weight will be on the back and 50% on the weight will be on the floor, which means that to make regular movement, it will be much more easy for you. Then selecting the right seat is not easy, but you have to take a different aspect. The first is the physical aspect of the person, the type of work, the work environment, the color, and if it's fit, of course, with other furniture, if you are attached to the design of your company. Well, to sum up, this image shows you a lean workshop, flexible and ergonomic, so gathering every aspect of the lean environment, but of course also combining the ergonomic with it. As you can see, the point is to find ergonomic, well, let's say to have a workstation with a chair, with a mat, with additional accessories, and finding a way to move the components easily without having to load the boxes, to integrate the visual management, and of course to find a way to simplify the production flows, and to associate this organization with the 5S, the flow marking, identification by the signage, and so on. So company gains are, there are many, let's say, gains for company who are investing in ergonomics. The first one is maybe you find also a way to standardize the workstation. You will work on the productivity, as we have seen previously, reduce the absenteeism, dynamic corporate culture, improve the quality delivered to the customer, and of course enhance or improve your safety KPIs. And for the person directly, well-being, safety, health, working condition. This is something that we have speak during the presentation. So, and Jabber, you have anything to add or?
No, thank you very much, Alexis, for this great overview of the ergonomics and both why it is important, what the issues are without proper ergonomics, the benefits of improving ergonomics, and also some concrete examples and tools. So this is part of this presentation is part of actually our SESA system effort to constantly interact with our customers. Some of you may have already seen our SESA Systems Academy, where you can actually experiment directly with the different tools we have and see how they support different programs such as Ergonomics, 5S, Kaizen, TPM, and so on. So we have several hundred executive teams that actually join this program. We have one here in New York, and for those who are not, within the vicinity, we decided to also host these webinars. So the goal is to support you with your projects. And thank you very much, Alexis, again for joining us today from France.
And I've seen, if I may add something, Jabber, is that the ergonomic is a subject that is it's a growing discipline. It's in company, but even if it's not a real first subject, there are many improvements to put in place. And so, as I said, adapting work, the methods, the people, and all the aspect of work is not easy, but we can help. And if there is any way to help you, what we mainly do with our customer, even we have let's say a customer which are very far from us, is that we share some pictures. So what we could also propose you at the end of the presentation, why not, is to make a first visual expertise. So if some of you wants to send us some pictures, so we'll be very glad to make a first, let's say, diagnose, if I may use this word, and make some first recommendations.
Yes, so thanks for mentioning that. We'll send a follow-up email to those who are interested, so you know how to reach us. So there will be some self-assessment questions. Once we collect enough answers, we will also share with you the responses, and of course in a anonymized manner, confidential manner, so that you could compare yourself in terms of statistics. Also offering some assessments for those who want to dig a bit deeper into the technical aspect of your own ergonomic improvement opportunities. So definitely ergonomics is part of the lean and continuous improvement effort. And for those who are interested in more webinars, you can join. We have a growing number of webinars available online. You can listen to them at any point in time, and also register for free for our next webinars. They are announced on our website, and as well as social media. I'll give you in a second our contact information if you wish. You can also on our website download a number of brochures on Lean Office, for example, training games, the floor racks and trolleys, Kanban, Industry 4.0, and we also have an ergonomic white paper that is available. We can email it to you if you'd like. So our contact information is on the screen now for Alexis. Please connect also with us on LinkedIn if you wish, and we'll if you don't mind, we'll also send you an invite so we can more easily inform you of our future webinars. Also, we'd love to have you as members of a LinkedIn group we started, and that is now already, I think, 1,300 members group or more, close to 1,400 peers of yours. So we hope to see you there as well. The link, the LinkedIn group is called Lean Manufacturing and Lean Enterprise, 5S, TPM, Kaizen, Six Sigma, Kanban. All right, time to say goodbye. Thank you again, Alexis.
Thank you. Thank you, Jabba.
Yeah, thank you. I look forward to seeing you all on a future webinar. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.